assembled and it was a arrival here. And I would pray that this meeting will be productive in attending to the affairs of this school system, that we may be positive, productive, and have a fruitful school year for the benefit of the children served in this district. Bless this board with wisdom to make those decisions that are glorifying and pleasing to you first and foremost. And may you get the glory from it all. In the name of Jesus, we ask it. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that Mr. Keith Lacombe is absent. Item number 1, recommendation to approve the adoption of the minutes of the regular board meeting held Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024, as printed and mailed to board members and published in the Weekly News, official journal of the board. What's the pleasure?
I so move.
Moved by Miss Amy, seconded by Mr. Ricky, that we accept the minutes as published. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Item number 2, recognition of Students of the Month. Ms. Tudor?
Thank you. So I have to tell you, we really thought they could cut that part off. I have to tell you, I went to Marksville Elementary and I said, it was right at the beginning of school, and I said, aren't y'all glad to be back to school? And I don't know, 700 of them said, no. And I said, well, that's okay. We're excited enough for everybody. We're glad to have you back. So I feel like that tonight because, you know, we don't get to do Student of the Month and Teacher of the Month during, I guess, May, June, and July, or June and July. And so we missed that. We missed the faces and hearing all the voices say the Pledge of Allegiance, and that's exciting for us. So we will start with our Students of the Month, and we are very happy to have all of you students tonight. And we will start with Bella and Mr. Chris. And I guess you're going to have to talk really loud.
Cool. Student of the Month for Bunkie Elementary Learning Academy is Nazir Moat. Mr. Moten is in pre-kindergarten. His teachers is Miss Sharon Smoot. Academic accomplishments, he loves to color and playing in centers. Hobbies include riding bicycle, watching TV, and playing basketball. Future plans are to become a world-famous soccer player. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cottonport Elementary, Mr. J.
Miles Stephen. 6th grader at Cottonport Elementary. His teachers are Miss Gill, Miss Alex, Miss Carlon, and Mr. Regis. Favorite subjects are math and science. His achievements are Student of the Year, Honor Roll, Overall Student of the Month in 5th grade, and Junior Beta. His hobbies are playing video games, going outside, drawing, and calling friends. Future plans, he wants to go to college and become an electrical engineer. Congratulations.
Lafargue Elementary, Mr. Lynn.
We have Miss Annie Turner. Annie Turner is in pre-K. Her teacher is Miss Kayla Laborde. Her hobbies including playing outside and riding the golf cart. Her future plans is she wants to be a painter when she grows up. Her teacher said that it's a pleasure to teach. She follows the rules and all the directions, and she's very polite and has the best manners and is kind to everyone. Said she has a bright future ahead of her, and she's very pleased that she's had the honor to be part of that. Congratulations, Annie.
Now we have Marksville Elementary, Miss Amy.
Student of the Month from Marksville Elementary is Jacques Gaia. Jacques is in the the first grade, his teacher is Miss Linda Valche. His favorite subject is math and ELA. His accomplishments are he maintained A honor roll for the 23-24 school year, reading and math awards for achieving benchmark status, and multiple PAW awards for displaying respect and positive behavior. His hobbies include playing kickball, bike riding, go-kart riding, bug and critter hunting, arts and crafts, enjoys spending time with family, and taking care of his dog and 3 cats. His future plans, Jacques loves animals and plans to one day become a veterinarian. His teacher comments, Jacques is an excellent student. He's making all A's in all subjects. He is responsible, respectful, always doing the right thing, and demonstrates perseverance in all he does at school. Congratulations, Jacques.
Okay, and Pleasureville Elementary, Mr. Ricky.
Pleasureville Elementary student of the month is Cadence Hukins. Cadence teachers are Miss Jessica Goche, Miss Tiffany Lewis, Social Studies and Science, Miss Melissa Mayu, ELA. Favorite subjects, math because she loves multiplication and division a lot. Academic achievements, A honor roll for first grade and second grade. Her hobbies are reading, playing soccer, and doing gymnastics. Her future plans, in the future, she wants to be a pre-K teacher and a singer. Congratulations.
Thank you. And Mr. Ricky, you have Riverside as well.
Riverside student of the month is Chrislyn Armster. Chrislyn is in the 6th grade. Her teachers, Miss Samaria Allen and Miss Amber Barlow. Favorite subjects, reading and math. Academic achievements, advanced on the English Language Arts LEAP test, mastery in math and science on the LEAP test, AB honor roll last school year. Chrislyn enjoys drawing in her free time. Her future plans, she wants to be a fashion designer when she grows up. She wishes to travel the world and study different cultures and the way people dress. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now our high schools. Avoyelles High.
Student of the month for Avoyelles High is Landon Curry. Landon is in the 12th grade. His teachers are Mr. Cameron Adams, Miss Leah Allen, and Coach T. His favorite subject is English. Academic achievement, A honor roll, scored a 24 on the ACT and scored gold on ACT work keys. His hobbies include reading, thinking, chess, basketball, and volleyball. His future plans, he plans to attend college to become a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Congratulations, Landon.
Bunkie, Miss Jill.
Student of the month for Bucky High School is Miss Emily Anderson. Her teachers are Coach Jake, Miss Courtney, Miss Dana, and Miss Melanie. Her favorite subjects are English and FACS. Academic achievements. I scored mastery on ELA and math, LEAP, since I came to Bunkie High. I'm in beta and FBLA. Last year, I made first place in FBLA concepts at regionals. Hobbies, she likes to read and hang out with her friends in her spare time. And her future plans are to go to school and become either a lawyer or an orthodontist. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Robin, you have LaSalle.
Katie Gilry. Katie's a 10th grader at LaSalle. Her teachers are Miss Humble, Mr. Bartolaw, and Mr. Roy. Her favorite subject is Ag. She got 2nd place at the state level for agri-science at the literary rally. She's the student council secretary and working to attend the national 4-H conference to represent Louisiana 4-H. Her hobbies are to compete in poultry evaluation in the FFA and to do community service through 4-H and senior beta. Her future plans are to attend a college in Louisiana and obtain a bachelor's degree in agriculture. Congratulations.
Thank you. And Ms. Letitia, you got Marksville High.
Marksville High School Student of the Month, is Brody Laborde. Brody is an 11th grader. His teachers are Ms. DuPont and his LSUA instructors. His favorite subjects are biology and world geography. His academic achievements, student government, senior beta, 4-H, Tiger College Club, and a 4.0 GPA. His hobbies include he's played soccer for 7 years. He loves to volunteer at Marksville High, and he has learned how to perform surgical sutures at the age of 14. His future plans is to get his associates at LSUA and a bachelor's, then go to LSUA to get his master's in guidance counseling. Congratulations.
Thank you. And everybody was here tonight. That's super exciting for us. If y'all will sit tight, we will do our Teachers of the Month. And then we're going to ask you all to go with, here she is, Miss Amy, and she's going to take some more pictures in the back. Okay. Teacher of the Month, Miss Thelma. There she is.
Good evening, everyone. As I like to piggyback on what Ms. Tudor said, it's so good to see a full room tonight with so many happy faces, and this is our first month to recognize our Teachers of the Month. So I would like to begin with Bunkie Elementary Learning Academy, Ms. Bianca Ward. Cottonwood Elementary, Miss Alexandria Simon. LaFord Elementary, Miss Jessica Dozal. Marksville Elementary, Miss Pam Laborde. Cocheville Elementary, Miss Lisa Dissertel. Riverside Elementary, Miss Samaria Allen.
That we are live streaming now, right? So you can watch this on, somewhere.
I said some Cajun or YouTube, the Cajun TV.
YouTube, the Cajun TV. So you can all go back and watch this, but I want to make sure we get y'all in the, all right, we're good. Don't want to miss anybody's picture.
So when you receive your plaque, make sure you face the camera.
That's it.
Avoyelles High School, Miss Kelly Gilbo. Bunkie Magnet High School, Miss Amanda Fonyo. I know she's not here. LaSasse, Miss Carrie DeSale. And Marksville High School, Mr. Philip Augustine.
It is math teacher night. Okay, now we're good. Congratulations.
I'd like to say Congratulations to all of you for job well done and for your recognition tonight.
And if you are welcome to come back, but if you will follow Miss Amy now to the back, we will get some more pictures. Thank you.
Katie, what are you gonna major in? What in
I'll have to think about it.
Yeah, let me know. You know.
Okay, the next 4 items are your information items. Item number 4, strategic plan update, Ms. Tudor.
Thank you. So, y'all know that we started work on a new strategic plan a year ago. So as this school year gets started, this is year 2 of that plan. And we have a steering committee. There are 8 of us. I'm gonna try really hard to not miss anybody, but I've done this in the car for the last couple of days and I only get 7. So Jessica's gonna keep me going if I miss number 8. So Jessica Gaucher is the chairperson of our steering committee, and she really does keep us moving. She really keeps us working on the work that has to be done. And we have to do this work, and then we go back to principals, and then we go back to central office people, and so there's a lot of work in terms of putting this together. But it's time now for us to show you what we're working on and show you what those pieces look like. So we have 2 principals on the steering committee, Ms. Tony from Riverside and Mr. Chuck from Bunkie. I am on the committee, Ms. Thelma is on the committee, Ms. Dawn is on the committee, and Wendy Marchand and Dexter Compton from our curriculum department. Those are the 8 people that make up the steering committee. Now, a lot of this, especially this part, anytime we meet, anytime, and they will all laugh and I'm sure they will tell you something different, but every time I have any sort of gathering, we talk about the mission, because the mission is important. It is important for us to know what it is, and it is important for us to know why we come here every day. And I want to make sure that you see it so that I need everybody to understand what our purpose is, right? Our mission is our purpose. We are here to provide a variety of rigorous, academically rich learning experiences that focus on the learner. We're going to break that down a little bit as we move on, but our purpose is very clear, and you hear us talk about that regularly. Our purpose is to educate children. Actually, you kind of hear sometimes we say things like, okay, we've spent the last 2 hours working on this and we've yet to talk about educating children. And so every once in a while we remind ourselves of that. But anytime we get started with anything, we have to go back and look at our purpose, because our purpose is to educate children. It is also important that we understand and that our community understands that we can't do this by ourselves. We have to have partners to do this. We have to have partners with our families, partners with our communities. We have to make sure that we provide that safe environment with equitable, innovative opportunities that will, and we like those A words, we want our learners to achieve. We want to applaud good character, and we want our kids to accomplish the extraordinary. And we need to make sure that as we all work together on that purpose of educating children, that we have to keep on the front burner. This is what we come here for every day. This is what we do. So, as I've been here now almost 3 years, right at 3 years. So, as in those 3 years, we've really focused on these 3 pieces. We focused a lot on student mastery, and y'all know we've made good strides with that. You saw that data maybe a month or so ago. You know that we worked on increasing attendance. My favorite days of the year are those days those signs go up in the yards, right? Because when you start seeing signs go up in yards that say attendance is important here, that's those parents who make sure their kids come to school all day, every day. Because you have to hit a pretty high standard to get those signs. So we enjoy those days those signs go up. And discipline. We know that if our kids are in class and engaged and learning, then we're not going to continue to have the major discipline problems that we've had in the past. And you all have seen the data on that. You know how we've worked on that. So as we moved into the strategic plan, we're really focusing on 3 big ideas. And these big ideas hold up those pillars that we talked about. We know we have to keep our focus on learning. Grade level, standards-based learning. That's that purpose we are here for every day. We are really working this year, and we talked about it a lot during our opening session, on that collaborative culture. And we're being real clear about what that looks like. Climate is how you feel. Culture is how you behave. We know that there's power in numbers, and when we collaborate and we work together, we can make better decisions, and we can put a better instructional plan in place for those children we are educating. But we've got to make sure that our culture, our behaviors, dictate what we do day in and day out, as opposed to our feelings. We are really working hard on that in our buildings this year, and we really talk about doing the work and doing the work and focusing on the work that helps us understand we want the climate to be good. We want you to feel good about what you're doing. We want you to feel good coming to school. We want our kids to like to come to school. We want them to feel like they are a part of what we're building. And we want our adults to understand the same thing. We have to make sure that we have that collaborative culture. We have to make sure that our behaviors reflect our purpose. We're doing a lot of work on that this year. And then, you know, we are focused on results. This is about data, right? If our scores are not improving, if the data we're looking at is not moving in the right direction, then we have to change what we're doing. We have to make sure that those pieces are in place so that we can go back to that purpose of educating children. So as we worked on this strategic plan for a year, we have developed 4 strategic priorities. Now this is new information. So principals have worked on this. We've done a little bit of work across the parish, but this is the first big rollout of this information. So I want you to know these are new pieces you probably haven't seen before, but the context hasn't changed. We are focusing on academic excellence. We have to make sure that we put a high-quality Tier 1 curriculum in place in every classroom, all day, every day. We need our people to be at work. We need our students to be at school. And then we need to make sure that we provide the support to be sure those that high-quality curriculum is implemented the way it needs to be. We need to make sure our kids are the ones doing the work. Our kids are the ones who need to do the learning. So we are working hard to make sure that everyone is trained well. Y'all know I think training is important. I think y'all also make it a priority, and it is important. So we're trying to really make sure that we've got that in place so that our people are supported in what they do, and that we have effective systems in place that will give us the outcomes we want. We know that we have to put students first. We know, we talk a lot about making decisions based on student needs as opposed to based on adult convenience. We have to make decisions based on what our students need. And I feel like we're in a good place with that. We are working on that school culture, and remember, culture is behavior, right? Because we need our students to want to be a part of what we're building and to really work with us on learning what needs to be learned. We know that we have to have coordinated systems. We have to improve accountability. We work hard to improve communication, and we have to be efficient. We have to make sure that as a staff, our focus is to accelerate that impact on student learning, and that we have to do it effectively and efficiently, because we know we've got some ground to make up. We know that if all we do is come to work and teach 1 year of student growth, then we will be no better than we were last year. We have to do better than a year's worth of growth. We've got some ground to make up, and you will see that in a minute when we look at numbers, but I feel like we're in a good place for those pieces to start falling into place. We also have to have engaged families. You heard in our vision that partnerships are important. We can't do what we have to do educationally if we don't have partnerships with our families, with our communities, with our schools. We don't want our schools to compete against each other. We're in this together in Avoyelles Parish. So we have to support the work that we're doing, make sure that we have a collective responsibility to be sure that we've got all the right pieces in place so that we can make the kind of difference we need to make. So I wanted you to see our mission measures. And we haven't updated this. We kind of wrapped up what we did with the strategic plan in March, and we are getting it started back now. So I've got dates here. I want you to notice, and I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I want you to notice that there are targets, and our targets have a lot to do with mastery and improvement in those data pieces you see over time. We get a lot of data through the year, and the SPS will be a reflection of part of this, but there's some other pieces in there that I don't want you to miss. The dates you see in the middle are the dates of those actual results, which is the list of numbers on the right. So the numbers on the right will tell you where we are for that mission measure based on that date. And we will update this, and I'm hoping by the time we get to maybe December or January, we will have the updated test data in the mix so that we can start showing you how we're growing and where we're moving and what that looks like. I want to talk one more minute about those 3 big ideas, because as we talk about the things we do, you should hear that in everything we talk about. We will focus on learning, and I'm going to say again, grade level standards-based learning. We will continue to work on that collaborative culture, because this is work, and it is hard work, and there's nothing about it coming here day in and day out that is easy. But it is productive work if we do what needs to happen to be sure that our behaviors, because that's how we're defining culture, our behaviors really are focused on the educating children work that we need to do. And then we're going to be able to show you that with the data we have. Y'all have looked at data for the last probably 3 years, pieces of it. This is going to pull those big pieces together so you can start to see the same pieces over time. But the data is really important in whether or not we are accomplishing that goal and that purpose. And again, that is educating children. So I always start with the mission. I always end with the mission, because I don't want anybody to forget why we're here. Even some days we come, we chase a lot of rabbits, and some days they don't have a lot to do with this. But when we come back the next day, we know this is our focus, this is what we do. And this is why. This picture actually is probably
2 years old.
I was going to say, Amy, it's probably time for a new picture at the end of this year, but this is one of my favorites, so I like to keep it in the slides. And if that one bothers you, then we got little kids in this picture. They're ours too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tudor. Does anybody have any comments?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
One is the grade level standards-based focus on learning. We all know that that's our goal, and that's what we strive for. But what about those that are not at grade level based on either previous testing or current assessments?
We have a lot of pieces in place. So every school has an RTI block in place this school year that meets every day, and they work strictly on that response to intervention. They've done some diagnostic work, some of the iReady tests that you see, some of the Dibbles tests that we also give 3 times a year, is the data that we are using to address those deficiencies. So during core instructional time, they're getting that Tier 1 curriculum, but there's also time built into the day that focuses on those interventions. You're also going to hear later, and I think Mr. Dexter is doing it because Wendy is actually across the street at a parent meeting at Marksville Elementary. So we're working with parents. We're working with, I think that's maybe a preschool meeting across the way. Yeah. So we're working with preschool parents. We're working with 0 to 4. We're working with what we have in school, the kindergarten through 12. We've got a lot of pieces going on, but you're going to hear about high dosage tutoring in a few minutes because the state has given us money and what that will look like. We also have got what we had last year, that Steve Carter tutoring, which is available after school. So we've got a lot of good options for parents, and we are getting the initial data from the beginning of the year assessments out so parents can know where they are, where their children are performing right now, and what is the expectation. And then we are literally working on what do we have to do to get them on grade level.
And my second question is, any of professional development, I know we do a lot of professional development.
We do.
But are any of this happening during instructional time, like during the school day?
We try not to do a lot of it during the school day. We have some coaches, some vendor coaches who come in and work with teachers on teaching that class, on modeling, how do I implement this in the classroom. So if it's during the school day, it's that sort of training. We've got a lot of requirements the state has put on us. We do those on Mondays.
Okay.
We're doing the numeracy training, which is our new piece this year, catching up the people who haven't done science of reading. All of those kind of trainings, Letitia, we do on Mondays.
Okay.
And we pay for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was wondering, how did this affect instructional time and
We try not, I'm not gonna say we don't ever, but I'm gonna tell you, we try not to pull during instructional time, but we do have those coaches come in and work with teachers side by side on best practices, on what implementation should look like, on setting up those intervention pieces. So we're doing a little bit of all of it, but we try not to pull during instructional time. We try to work with kids during instructional time, as we try.
And did you say that RTI is daily?
It is.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
You will get this in the newsletter, so you can take a look at what those pieces are.
Thank you, Ms. Tudor.
Yes, sir.
Item number 5, sales tax report for the month. Ms. Jessica?
All right, sales tax collections for the month of August 2024 totaled $888,829.25. This shows a $9,214.06 decrease compared to this month last year, which represents about 1.03% decrease. Our motor vehicles are also down. They were $150,331.32 for this month, and that's about $14,806.33 decrease compared to August of 2023.
Thank you.
All right, our fiscal year comparison, we have the 2 months so far to date. We've collected $1,860,105.72. So right now we're still at a decrease, but it's at 3.22%. So we had about a 5% decrease that first month, and then now we're at like 1%. So getting that better, hopefully get positive soon. And compared to 22-23, it's about 0.13% increase, and then 21-22, 4.46%, and 13.93% compared to 2020-2021. Our calendar year to date, we've collected $7,592,427.54. It's right at 3.68% increase 24 to 23, and 6.46% increase compared to 22%. That's still adjusted for that refund that will be on there for a while. Any questions for sales tax?
No, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jessica. The next one is the monthly maintenance report expenditures. Mr. Ricky?
I didn't see anything that stood out. I saw a lot more stuff because it was end of summer stuff, but nothing that really stood out.
Any other comments from any board member? Okay.
No, that's,
Item 7, personnel changes, Ms. Delma.
on this report.
Personnel changes, you have a list of, the appointments and a few resignations, and also a chart with the number of vacancies as well as, certified teachers. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next 4 items are the consent items. We'll pass all of those with one motion and one second. The first one is dealing with the handbook amendment on the inactive Google policy. The next one is the MOU with the Department of Revenue and the Avoyelles Parish School Board. Number 10 is allowance or approved Beauregard Parish, piggybacking off the Avoyelles Parish Open Gate with A3 Communications. And number 11 is request for overnight travel. Any discussions from any one item?
Chairman, I move that we accept the consent items listed.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Robin, seconded by Mr. Jay, that we approve the consent items. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Our next items are the action items. Item number 12, discussion and action of the agreement between the City of Marksville and the Avoyelles Parish School Board, which is required by the Legislative Act on camera tickets. Mr. John Lemoyne is the mayor. He's going to address the board. Welcome, sir. You have 3 minutes to give your explanation.
Okay, first thing on y'all's strategic plan, y'all brought up a safe environment. And that's what we're here for, is to provide a safe environment. Since school has started, there have been about 740 tickets that have been given, ranging anywhere from 36 miles an hour to 75 miles an hour. I gave y'all a handout earlier, and to us, the most important one is the very last page of the students that are crossing Tunica Drive. With the buses not picking up kids within a 1-mile radius, which is law, a lot of the kids over here in this area behind Pizza Hut are having to cross Tunica Drive with those vehicles going at that rate of speed. The company that we're dealing with also deals with 20 different municipalities throughout the state. And with this legislative act that was passed by the legislature, we have to go ahead and come to some type of agreement with the school board of what they're willing to accept on these tickets that are being given. Now, we don't have to, if y'all decide not to, we can still give tickets in the school zone, but it would have to be by a police officer in uniform. And the problem with that is that you don't catch as many speeders, because that person sees somebody speeding, he has to turn around, chase that person down, and in some cases, they might end up in 5th Ward, Hickory Hill, or whatever, and then you would have the other cars coming behind that person. They would get away with speeding, and it'd be hard to go ahead and do it. And in a lot of areas in the state, this is why this was passed, this Act number 103 was passed by the legislature, to where it would be permissible to go ahead and do these camera tickets in the school zones. And like I said, it's for the protection of the kids, and it also generates revenues. It's going to generate more revenues than we would generate with a regular traffic cop. And also with a traffic cop, you start chasing somebody that has a warrant, and that person goes ahead and starts running away, then you finally stop him, and he starts arguing with the police officer, and you see it on TV every night that a police officer gets shot in some part of the country where he was trying to go ahead and arrest somebody that had a warrant. So, you know, it's safer to do the traffic tickets, and I'll answer any questions, and if I can't answer it, the chief is here, and some of the council members are here also that might answer any questions that y'all may have.
I have a
Ms.
question,
Jill?
Mr. President. How, on average, how much would you say that this device, I don't know what to call it, what is it?
We hadn't started collecting on any of the tickets that were given, and the
Okay.
reason we haven't is because there was not an agreement made. So therefore, there was none of the tickets that have been collecting any money on that were given in the school zone.
Okay,
So that I couldn't answer. Now, if they were all paid, 700
Right.
tickets at $200, that's 140,000. We split it 50-50. You'll get 70 and we get 70.
okay.
And we did it all last year. We did it in the school zone all last year. I don't think anybody got a phone call that we're giving tickets in the school zone. But after it was brought to the legislature to go ahead and deal with it, that's when the part of the school board getting involved, and the school board, because it was in a school board zone,
Right.
that we would have to divide. And we have no problem with that. That's not a problem. But like I said, we haven't collected anything yet because the act said that you had to have an agreement, and there was not an agreement made
Right.
with the school board. Now, every parish has to make that same agreement. And what their agreements are, that I can tell you. It's to each parish to decide what they would prefer to do.
My next, can I ask one more? But this is from Mr. Riddle. My concern, look, I'm very pro law enforcement. They don't need to
Right.
be in the school zone, pro safety, absolutely. I'm very concerned about us getting in the business of citations because that's not what our purpose is.
I understand that completely. You're not
What do you
involved
think,
in
do
it.
you think okay, you
would not
can't
get
foresee any kickback whatsoever down the road, any kind
None
of,
whatsoever. And by the way, I hate camera tickets. In fact, the mayor.
How many you got?
They called me and said, why do you help people try to get out of the tickets? But the school board has no liability. You're getting a check from Marksville. You have no say-so on what tickets they give. And this only applies to school zone tickets. And without an agreement, they can't write the tickets, period. Unless the other thing is, you have to, I know they collect 200 per ticket, but you have to deduct the expenses, right?
Right.
First, and then they split the balance.
okay, thank
What do
you.
you think the reason is the legislature made the school board get involved in this? Why couldn't they just write tickets and make them send us half the money if they wanted to? Why would they make us vote on it?
Because they wanted to, they were giving a
It's a
lot of
public
tickets to
road,
school
yeah.
zones for public safety.
Could,
And I
you think
that
they could have made the law without making us vote on it? If we wanted to accept the money or not? I mean,
Y'all don't have to accept the money.
I know, but it's
You
saying,
have to have an agreement.
I'm saying, why did they make it where school board members have to get actively involved by voting on it in the business of,
Well, you have to
Camera
vote to
tickets.
enter an agreement, and to receive the money from the city, you have to enter an agreement. If you don't, they can't write tickets in the school zone unless it's a live police officer. It's that simple.
Right. And for informational purposes, last year, with the city tickets, it generated $200,000 for the city. It was what that was last year. And some of those tickets were given in the school zones, of which at that time, we didn't have an agreement with the school board, so that way the school board lost out on some of that money.
So last year was the first year you guys shot your laser in the school zone?
Yes, sir.
It was. And it was a total of 700.
No,
Plus.
this year, since school started, just this year, there were 700
You mean
some
this
tickets that
month?
were given.
Or since January, or since,
Since August.
1 month.
Since August.
That's how many speeders come through here in the mornings. And like I said, you've got a lot of kids crossing Tunica Drive, and it shows it on the last picture that I handed out to you.
Mr. President, Ms. Letitia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you all following the hours of the school zone? So from the before school
Yes,
and
ma'am.
after school?
By the act that was passed by the legislature, we have to follow everything that was passed by the legislature. We have to. There's no way around it.
Mr. Roberts.
I guess my question is to both of you. First of all, Mr. Riddle, is this a legal thing as far as
It's legal unless.
giving the tickets?
Yes.
Is that legal to have a camera in the
Yes,
school?
because it's considered civil. It's
Okay.
considered legal. I've said it, and they know, I hate camera tickets.
Okay.
Okay, but it's just civil. It's not criminal, which is why the district attorney has no authority over.
Okay.
But I'll be honest, and they know this. When people come to me, I tell them how to challenge it. Okay?
So, and so that was my next question, is on the challenge. How many have been successful?
Not many.
Not many.
Mr. Robin, on the last page that I gave you, the
Yes,
second
sir.
last page, it shows on the back of the ticket of what's written.
Right.
You weren't driving the car, and it's in the handout, and that has to be on the,
Right, that's the new law where you
Yeah.
write. For instance, one of my biggest complaints was, how do you know who's driving a car just by the license plate? Okay?
Right.
The statute requires them to put on the back of the ticket, if you were not driving the vehicle, you have to sign saying you were not driving, and that's a valid
correct.
pass, you don't get charged.
Mr. J, and then,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ms. Tudor, within that mile that we're not required to pick up students with the school bus, how many of those do we not offer pickup? How many students are walking to school based on us not offering in bus service?
Deborah looked at,
We offer all students transportation. Not one student that attends Avoyelles Parish are not assigned to a bus.
We-
If they walk, it's a choice that they're choosing. But all students are assigned to a bus route. So
and that's at every school.
that's at every school.
That is a parish decision we made.
Or unless it's a dead end that the bus can't get down.
And
Letitia.
I think it speaks for itself
But
that
he still
people
gets it.
obviously are breaking the law and they don't have any regard for the children that's in this school district. I mean, a month and a half, 746 tickets already within this area. Imagine if we could put those across the parish, how effective it could be. At this time, I would like to make the motion to accept the agreement with the city of Marksville, to enter into agreement to, for this contract that's before us, between the Avoyelles Parish School Board and the city of Marksville.
And, you know, Ms. Letitia, y'all will be willing to 50-50, I think.
That's what
That's what's in there,
agreement
the
says.
vices on 50-50 basis,
It says after
after
expenses.
expenses,
Yes,
after,
ma'am.
yes.
And y'all the collection agency, correct?
Yes, sir.
We have there's no cost at all. to
No,
us.
sir.
How about the liability?
No
He
liability?
just, no liability, no cost,
All you do is
nothing.
receiving a check from them.
We're getting paid to have a camera set up that has already caught 746 drivers passing through at the excess speed of 75 miles per hour so
No,
far.
Ms. Letitia, none of them were processed because
Oh,
we didn't
yeah, I
have an
get that,
agreement.
but I'm saying this is what is
ma'am.
happening. Okay, so I make the motion.
okay.
I'll second.
Who second?
Chris.
Mr. Chris, okay. The motion has been made by Ms. Letitia, seconded by Mr. Chris. Any further discussion?
I'd like to put a statement on the record if I could, just for a minute. I resent the fact that the state is putting this into the school board's decision. I don't know why we have to be part of the ticket writing business. But I'm not gonna repeat what I said last month, but I did write a short statement that I wanted to put on record just to why I feel the way I do. So I'm expressing my reservations regarding this agreement with the city of Marksville on procedural grounds. Public safety criminal law is fundamentally anchored in the principles of due process. However, civilly based public safety codes often stem from fiscal considerations rather than procedural justice. Unlike criminal public safety laws, civil torts do not afford the same level of process protections. Historically, public safety laws have been criminal in nature, thereby providing citizens with significant procedural rights. Altering the foundational basis of these laws to favor governmental advantages risks infringing on constitutional protections. As a constitutional scholar and an expert in reform legislation, I am acutely aware of the implications such changes can bring. While I recognize that Marksville's intentions to enhance public safety and generate revenue through civil measures, I cannot endorse an agreement that, in my assessment, potentially compromises the rights of our citizens.
Anybody else?
Mr. President, I'll make a statement. I'm not going to repeat myself either from last month. I've had several phone calls that I've told everybody my opinion. But I'm not okay with us, shame on legislation for making us tell the police how to do their job. If that's the way the legislation is written, they need to go back to their legislators and get this revised. We're in the business of educating children, and I don't think it's fair that they ask us to do this.
So, and is it not my understanding that we're not even held accountable or liable for anything but accepting funding that will go towards
And
the
that's
school
the way-
district?
That's the way I look at
Okay,
it. That's the way I read
okay,
it.
I'm just making sure.
I'm just concerned, I'm gonna piggyback off of what she says. I'm very torn because those that know me, I'm very pro law enforcement. I'm very pro safety for these children, but it's just a strange thing that would have to come to us, and for some reason, I can't get out of my head that that later on down the road, it's like we sign in a blank check for to be sued later. I can't, I don't know, I'm struggling with that.
And then one last statement, we wouldn't be here if we weren't mandated to come
No,
and make an agreement.
I understand
Because like I
that.
said, last year we did it all year, and I don't think any one of y'all had any questions or whatever, or were confronted by anybody that tickets were given in school zone. We're doing it because people are breaking the law. And it's endangering kids' lives.
Mr. Deloach.
Well, the way I look at that, I had reservations about it, but on the second hand, the second part of that, a lot of our kids do not ride buses. That's obvious. And if it would save one of them's lives, to me, that's important. That's very important.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Rob.
I think, they put us in a very bad position, but I appreciate the job that y'all gonna do, that y'all are doing, and, I'm gonna do what's acceptable in my opinion, and that is to go ahead and go along with this, even though I do have a lot of reservations.
Yeah, and I'll just add, my reasoning for voting for it, obviously, ESSA funds are running out, and the lack of funding that we are receiving from Section 16 lands that we could be receiving, I think that this is not the answer, but it could definitely substitute for some of those funds, or loss of.
All right, any further?
I made my motion, but
I'm gonna
sorry,
make-
you guys, but I have to.
I'm gonna make a quick statement, Mr. President. I hope it passes for everybody's sake, but I just can't,
Did my motion still stand?
I can't support it, but I do for the sake of the children and for y'all, I hope it passes.
If I could say a few words, I am Anita Mayu associate. Dr. Mayu is my brother. My daughter is a doctor. She's a pediatrician, works peds ER in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And I'm on Tunica Drive every morning about 6:20, attending church service at St. Joseph. And when we come out of church at 7 o'clock. So I am on Tunica every morning. And generally every afternoon, I'm back on Tunica within 3:45 and 4:45. What I see is awful.
I understand.
I set my cruise at 28. There are vehicles passing me on the 4-lane going at least 60 plus miles an hour during school zone hours. My brother served as coroner for many years. My daughter works peds ER. What they have seen in the past with adults, children who are not properly restrained. And in my opinion, I'm councilwoman for District 5, which is all this area. It's not, for me, it's not about the money. It's about the safety of the children. We can't afford to lose one life. And like I said, I've been on the council for 2 years, and I have been a strong proponent of enforcing speeding on the school zone property more than any other place. And I can assure you that what I see every morning and every evening, well, here in Martinsville 4 days a week, it's unbelievable.
Thank you, Ms. Nita. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand at the tap of the gavel. All opposed, same sign. The vote is 5-3 in favor of, the motion passes.
Can you do a roll call vote, just so,
For the record?
for the record?
Sure. Ms. Letitia?
Yay.
Mr. Robin?
For.
Mr. Jay?
Against?
And I'm for. Ms. Jill?
Nay.
Mr. Chris?
Yay.
Mr. Ricky?
Or.
And Ms. Amy?
Against.
Okay.
Mr. President, I wanted y'all to know that I talked to the attorney for the town this afternoon, and there were some changes that they didn't like the language in it, so we want to just handle it the newest one.
Okay.
I will put it in the newsletter for you.
You put it in the newsletter?
Okay.
Okay, wait.
I'm
I get it.
not okay with us approving something that is not what we just approved or read in the minutes. This is what happened with the lease last meeting, and we had to start digging around after. So if you wanna read it onto the record or say the changes, Mr. Riddle,
Yeah.
that way we can take care of
Change
business.
has to do with the way it was worded before. It sounded like y'all were consenting to them giving tickets. Change the word to where it said you're consenting to receiving half of the net funds.
Look, Charlie, look at what's on the screen. Is that the new one? I think that is the new one.
It might be.
So what you got in your packet is the new one. Look at that third paragraph.
Yeah, that's.
That is the new
fine,
one.
yeah.
So we were provided with the correct one.
You were
Okay.
provided with, and I will double check it.
And
I will
this
double
is the
check
one that
it.
we worked on previously?
No, this
No?
looks different than the one you saw last month.
This was in our packet.
This one was
That
in
was
your
probably-
packet.
Okay.
And I'm
It's
gonna
in there.
double check it and make sure.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Item 13, recommendation to approve the wrapping for the RES, PES, and Avoyelles Parish School Board community buses for a total cost of $54,000 to be paid in full service community school grant funds, community donations, and the remainder of the general fund. BK Distributors has the lowest quote. Ms. Kimberly?
Yes, so we got our 3 required bids. The first one came out from Pixis from Lafayette for a total of $59,811. Our major concerns with that wasn't the difference in pricing, but their concerns that they couldn't guarantee that they could do the prep work for the bus, and we would have to get an additional vendor to prep the buses. They also charged an extra $450 for inspections that would eventually come off the price if we went with them. However, not going with them, Plosheville is stuck paying that price out of their A-plus funds. Our third bid was from Phillips Sublimation here in Marksville, and they turned in no bid. And so that left us with the second bid, which is from BK Distributors located in Pineville. They are the people that did the wrap bus for Avoyelles Parish a few years back. And their cost estimate, they came and looked at all 3 buses. They looked at the damage inside and out, and they included them handling that. They saw no major work that they couldn't intel themselves, and they feel very confident. And so their bid says it is $18,000 per bus for a total of $54,000, and it will include the wrapping, the design, installation, and any minor surface touch-up works if they were rewarded the bid.
Mr. President, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the wrapping for the school buses in the amount of $54,000 to be paid out of the community school grant fund.
I'll second that.
The motion has been made by Ms. Gill, seconded by Mr. Robin, that we approve the wrapping for these 3 buses. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes.
Thank you.
All right, item 14, request to approve the contract with Rise and Shine Therapies, a company that performs comprehensive speech and language evaluation services for the deaf students in our district, funded by the Idea B Fund and shall not exceed $5,000. Ms. Dawn?
This is just a contract that we have that we're proposing with a company called Rise and, it's not Rise and Shine, it's Rise and Sign. It's a company that does American Sign Language as well as a comprehensive speech and language evaluation. As you know, we have several deaf students in the district, and this will help us with those kids that have ASL needs as well as speech and language needs.
Miss Amy?
Mr. President, I have a question. Will that be an in-person service? This won't be virtual?
Right.
And they will come here and do the testing?
Correct.
So I so move that we accept The contract with Rise and Shine to be funded by, Rise and Shine, to be funded by IDAB funds and shall not exceed $5,000.
Second.
Who seconded it?
Jill.
Ms. Jill, okay. Moved by Ms. Amy, seconded by Ms. Jill. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dawn. Item 15, recommendation to spend the Act 771 allocation of $257,000 for high-dose tutoring. Mr. Dexter?
Yes, sir. This amount was received from the state as a result of the act that they passed requiring that what they term as high-dose tutoring, which will occur during the school day at a ratio of 4-to-1 students for grades K to 6. And so we're recommending that those funds be used to fulfill that mandate.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this.
I'll second that.
All right, the motion by Mr. Robbins, seconded by Mr. Jay. Any further discussion or questions?
I got a
Mr.
question.
Ricky?
How do we, it says as many students as possible. So, I mean, are we expecting to go past that? And if so, how do we decide what?
So we're not,
We're not going past that.
we're not going past it.
It's a very complicated plan because
Well,
there are
I'm just
a
saying
lot
if
of
the need
requirements.
to go past it comes up.
We got Steve Carter tutoring, that will be after school. One of the requirements for this is it has to happen during school. So we are really focusing this money on specific grade levels. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, and it must be done during the school day. So we've been very creative in what that looks like in 6th grade and what that looks like in 2nd grade. And so, but the bottom line is we will not overspend that amount.
I wasn't worried about the overspending
The
part.
kids
I was
not
just
getting
worried
it.
about who gets left out if it does come to that. How do we decide what kids
We'll use some
get to
ticket
this?
money and we'll hire another teacher.
That was my question. That was the main
Our
question.
goal is to get our goal is to sweep that as broadly across our schools as we can.
Who's providing the tutoring services?
It's different, it's different pieces depending on the grade level. We are putting in place a specific piece for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. What we do K3 is gonna look a little bit different. I don't know if you wanna get into those
Is it
details.
our teachers or is it outside people? I guess is what she's asking. That's what I'm asking.
I think it's some of both.
Some, yeah, some will, depending on the grade level. Some
I'd like to
will
see our
involve
teachers take a
outside,
step in if they-
virtual and others.
Pay people
Okay.
to work in during times they're already being paid to work.
Okay, I thought it was after school, I'm sorry.
No, this one is not,
Oh,
but that one is available, babe.
okay. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Robin has made the motion and Mr. Jay seconded it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Item 16, request to approve the agency participation with the Office of Debt Recovery and the Department of Revenue. Ms. Jessica.
Okay, so the last time I went to one of our LATA tax meetings, these people came speak with us. So the Office of Debt Recovery is a state agency, and they can help us collect on some of our unpaid sales tax. So this is an agreement that allows us to do that with them.
I so move, Mr. President.
I'll second that.
Moved by Ms. Amy, seconded by Mr. Robin. Any further comments?
And I didn't read through it, but what is the charge for them to do that?
20%, but they add it to the tax that's due, so it doesn't cost us
Okay.
anything.
Let's roll with it.
Yeah. And they can do more things than we can. They can garnish wages, hunting licenses, driver's licenses, so it just gives us more tools to try to collect old debt.
Thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, the motion by Ms. Amy, seconded by Mr. Robin. All in favor say aye to have it
Aye.
together. All opposed, like sign. Ayes have it, the motion passes. Item 17, recommendation to approve the stipend to comply with the 24-25 certificate and support stipend appropriated by the 24 legislative session. Ms. Jessica?
So they had this stipend last year. I don't know if y'all remember, we did it in 2 phases. We did one in October and one in March. This year they passed that we have to disperse all of it by December. So this is the same resolution y'all passed last year with that change, just to do it all at one time. And the proposed date would be October 25th that I would get that out for certified positions and support positions.
And
2,000 for certified and 1,000 for support.
Hold on, I have a question. So the state mandated that, the state gave us the money to pay them? Or
Yes,
They
the
did?
state gave, yes.
I was
The
not
state
expecting
stipend.
that answer, all
Yes.
right.
They didn't do the raise this year, they did the stipend like they did last year.
Okay.
And it's mandated to be paid by December, so we are gonna try to get out for October if y'all are fine with that.
Perfect.
Mr. Robin made the motion,
A second.
and Ms. Letitia seconded it. Anything else, Ms. Letitia? Do you have another
Do we,
comment?
I know we normally have some criteria, can't miss so many days, board members, of course. I know this is for teachers. All teachers who was there at the start of the school year gets it?
Any teacher who is still employed as of October 25th, yeah, any employee. So as long as they're employed as of October 25th, they would qualify.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Item number 18. Mr. Ray, accept the lowest bid of $160,000 to Coleman Roofing for Cottonport Elementary, LaForgue Elementary, and whatever. And wherever from.
Whatever.
When we looked at this in needs assessment, you know, we just put a certain amount out there. It was $100,000. We didn't know just how bad those roofs are. Well, they are leaking. And the price now, the low price that I've got for fixing them is $160,000. So we need $60,000 more. So we have a little bit left over in Marksville High School in that needs assessment. That one just shot high, and to be honest with you, we got everything that was on the list done over there, and I thought it really turned out nicely. And then the other $30,000 will come from indirect costs.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to accept the lowest bid of $160,000 from Coleman Roofing to re-roof the Cottonport and LaForgue gym. And I'm gonna say what I say every time. I really wish we'd have some local people bid on this. And be funded from needs assessment and whatever is listed in 18.
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Shields, seconded by Ms. Amy. Any other comments? I just want to say, Mr. Ray, it's refreshing that everything's done on time. And it's not a backlog. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the motion passes. Item 19, recommendation to approve declaring surplus advertising for bids and selling 10 used school buses. Mr. Ray?
As you can see from this list over here, they're 2002 or older. We have a lot of old buses, and you know we're still waiting to hear about the propane grant, the 20 buses. But I can assure you that even with these 10 being gone, we still have 20 more that we can easily and use toward those 20 buses. So we're really good to go. We really have a lot of buses that are just everywhere.
Please tell me that the
those
10 are located at the field house here in Marksville.
To be honest with you,
Ms. Dupuy likes them there.
I would have to go through the list. I can't remember where every one of these are. Okay, good.
I see we still have some at the correctional facility too, right?
Yes, yes.
So probably half of them are not being used, huh?
Oh, let's get rid of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second
Okay,
it.
moved by
I'll
Mr. Robin.
make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Miss Amy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, the motion passes.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Robin, seconded by Mr. J, that we adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Thank y'all.
I think Jill wanted that one.
I want them all.
Give it to Jill.
I like all of them.